So I'd like to acknowledge a couple of key special guests that are here today. Of course, our Mayor, Councillor Ken Keith. We've got the Honourable Michael McCormack, MP, our local member and Minister for Small Business here with us today on behalf of the Federal Government. We also have our distinguished councillors. Thank you very much for making your way out here today. And of course our Deputy Mayor, Barb Newt. We have our General Manager, Ken Boyd. And I'd also like to welcome and thank you for attending all of our key project delivery members. So, of course, John Holland as the key project delivery partner for the AWARF project, and all of our own consultancy team that have helped to bring all of our existing major projects to this point, and also to develop the advanced water recycling facility project to the point that it's at now. So, without further ado, I might introduce Councillor Ken Keith, Mayor of Parks, to officially welcome you all and to introduce the Honourable.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Our Minister, not Minister, but Director of Infrastructure at Park Shire Council. The $95 million project under his belt, he really could become a minister, I think. He's doing very well. But to the Honourable Michael McCormack, MP, the member for Riverina and the Minister for Small Business, welcome back to Parks again, Michael. It's lovely to have you back in our community, outside of an elder suit as well. It's even to Peter Stark, representing John Holland and the other John Holland members here today. Welcome to this ceremony today, to our staff and the hard-working people like Julian that have done a lot of work behind the scenes as well. To my fellow councillors, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure on what is a groundbreaking day in the true meaning of the word, because we're actually going to turn the sod on the new water treatment facility, or wastewater treatment facility. And this recycled water will be a huge benefit to the Parks community. It also puts us up there amongst the best sewage and water treatment plants in New South Wales or even Australia, for the way we're going to handle this particular project and combine it with our sewage treatment plant and provide water of a very high quality standard to our sporting fields, the golf club, the racecourse and other sporting fields in parks, to utilise this water, which will save an enormous amount of money on our pumping costs from the Lachlan River, because we'll be able to reuse water that we've already pumped here. So it's got some very good energy savings associated with it. I would like to thank the federal government. They're contributing half the cost of the project, around about $8.75 million, to the overall cost of the scheme, and that's greatly appreciated from the Better Regions Fund, and it certainly is. It helps when governments can work together with local government to provide improved facilities for our communities. It'll be part now of an over an $85 million upgrade of the water treatment plant, the sewage treatment plant, and now the water recycling plant. And we've been delighted that John Holland has been the contractor that's going to take on all those facilities right through. And they were doing the sewage treatment plant and the water treatment plant, or are doing them, and to be able to tag on this water recycling plant at the end of that project and have it going in consequential order is terrific, and we're very pleased to work with that group that have used a lot of local employees and local contractors to help with the work, and that's been a huge benefit to the Parks community as well. Something I would like to mention is that we had a meeting last week to look at these three projects combined, applying for an international standard. Now let me get the wording right. International sustainability accreditation for these plants, and if successful, and we're looking like we're ticking most of the boxes at the moment, and Julian's done a lot of hard work in getting all the staff and everyone motivated to get to this standard, it will be the first local government area, we believe, in Australia that will actually have those three plants that get that international rating. So it's a real feather in the cap for John Holland and to Andrew, who's headed up these projects, and to the Park Shire Council, because I think it's a huge example of how Park Shire Council is again leading the way in local government and setting a new standard for others to follow. So on behalf of my fellow councillors and everyone present today, could I introduce the Honourable Michael McCormack, the member for Riverina and the Minister for Small Business, to come forward and say a few words on behalf of the federal government, we appreciate this.
Well, thank you, Ken, and acknowledge Barb, the Deputy Mayor, and Kent, the General Manager, and other councillors, and perhaps most importantly, with all due respect to you, Mr Mayor, Peter Stark, the Project Manager. That's most important. It's a big job. The construction phase of this, 50 jobs created and 6 ongoing. Now, my father once told me that it's always important, if you can't be the part, at least look the part. And I always used to have most resplendent cricket uniform, but even though I wasn't that good a cricketer, and you're probably wondering where I'm going with this, but you can see the colour of my tie, it's blue and brown. Now, and I think that's most appropriate for today's occasion, because what we're doing is we're converting, let's just say, brown sort of water into blue water, and the water that will be, I knew that'd get a laugh. I actually deliberately wore this, so I thought, how appropriate is it that we're actually going to be converting water that in some other towns just goes to waste. We're going to be turning it into potable water and use it on the sporting ground. So that's most appropriate, and this is going to benefit 30,000 people here in the Parks Shire, here in Parks itself. So that's significant. That's a huge investment. And people probably quite rightly expect that governments and councils just do this, but you still have to get the funding, and that's why I'm pleased that the National Stronger Regions Fund has seen fit to allocate 8.2575 million actually it was 8.725 million. The Commonwealth's commitment, matched dollar for dollar by the council, and this will provide a great service, great potable water for the sporting fields and elsewhere for the Parks Shire. So that's tremendous. As I say, it's creating 50 jobs in the construction phase, creating 6 ongoing jobs for full-time employment. That's great, and it's also good for small business, because when you have these sorts of facilities, when you have the a new airport terminal and new airport facilities, like was also funded under the National Stronger Regions, you're building community capacity, and that's what these sorts of grants are all about. Well done to the council. Well done to the John Holland for getting in and behind this job. And with that, I suppose we should turn the first on. Is that appropriate? Perhaps someone watered the ground that looks a bit hard.
Could I just ask maybe Jim Levis, the design manager for John Holland, to
please
join you
come and say a few words.
I'll be very brief. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, distinguished guests. Just on behalf of John Holland, we'd like to equally sort of thank everybody, especially Parks Shire Council, a very forward and very progressive council. And we thank them for the opportunity to actually be involved in such a unique and landmark project. And lastly, there's been such a high level of collaboration with all the stakeholders, designers and support organisations. Rarely do we get this sort of opportunity to actually help shape a design, and let alone the actual final outcome. So thanks again to everybody, and we look forward to building on this final project. So thank you very much.
Very good. You'll stay in place.
I'll get you at the level, so you need to do the show.
Maybe if we put a foot either side. That way we're going to go. Oh, that actually went in a bit. There we go.
Just put some water in there.
Now, if this was Jeff Kennedy, throw it all over the awaiting media. But you know what? I'm not going to.